Hey guys, so today we're going to continue on with our cutouts. This time we're going to create a little layer masks to sort of isolate our stuff. We did something similar to this in years past where we took, actual cutouts, but we sort of added on to it using, isolating things by actually doing some destructive changes. This time we're going to explore these non-destructive changes that we can use with our layer masks. Anyways, I'm going to just Control J and duplicate this layer, and I'm going to make a little selection here with my paths. So I'll get in close and I'll just sort of speed this up. So anyways. Okay, so I made this quick selection around the outside. I'm going to make another selection on the inside here, just to... Okay, so I've got this little selection made with everything kind of isolated here. So I'm just going to click on this little layer mask option. First I'm going to make this bottom layer invisible just so I make sure I know I got it here. Okay, not quite. Let's actually, oops, undo that. And then we'll just go over here to our sort of selection tool and just select the inverse. And then we'll hit the little layer mask tool. That way we kind of isolated this little area here. Okay. So with my layer mask still activated here, I'm gonna make my brush tool, and I'm gonna see if I can't kind of like get a soft round brush to sort of like come in and sort of clean up the edges of it. Once again, black conceals your layer and white reveals it. So I'm gonna look here. I'm gonna see if I can't get some of these elements of the background kind of like taken out here. So I'm going to use white to sort of reduce this green here, and hopefully keep some of the texture of the fur as well. Alright, so notice that what we're doing here is non-destructive, so we can always come back and we can fix these changes that we might have made. So, okay, oops, that's a bit too much, that's fine. Okay, yeah, definitely get rid of this. This works better if you have a pen. Like pen input. I'm using a touchpad, which is doubly, I'll sort of see if I can clean up some of these sort of more pixelated areas here as well. All right, oops. Or you can use the square brackets to make your spline bigger here. All right, I think that's quite good. This little here. Okay, so all right, so we've got this little thing isolated here. So what we'll do is this. This is pretty clear, this little blur background here. The idea is this. I want to get my text tool out, and I want to create two text layers here. They're both going to be above. Well, first I'll make this one here. I'll just make one. We'll just call it, like, wildlife. And let's do some just some basic typography stuff to it. First off, I'll just make it, big-ish to where it's like kind of covering everything. And obviously you can choose whatever font you want. This little font's going to be, I'll keep it white because that seems to be a pretty good, a pretty good contrast here. So wildlife, I might put this like right about here. And what we'll do is we'll duplicate this. So we'll just sort of Control J, duplicate this. And I'll move the copy up a little bit. And what we'll do is I'll make it a little bit bigger. So I'll just sort of Alt-Shift drag it to where it's a bit bigger here. And I'm going to go over here to my filters, and I'm going to, first off, I'll go to filters, I'll go to blur, I'll go to Gaussian blur. Sure, convert to smart object. It's fantastic. And not quite so much here. That's probably good. And I'll just drag this wildlife copy down below the mask. And I might actually make this a little bit less opaque too. All right, so now we can kind of like take a look at this. So I might actually just take both of these, control, select both of these, and kind of like Alt drag them together. Okay. All right, looks kind of fun. All right. So what's cool about these is that now you can kind of like maneuver them around outside of the layer mask and stuff, and you can kind of, sort of fill in what do you see, what you don't see and stuff. Okay, so that's a basic layer mask, basic tool that you can use to get your pictures a little bit of depth to your typography here. Looks like we got something hanging out there in the little blurred out background there, so that's kind of fun. Let's actually kind of like lower this down some. Control click, and we'll sort of lower this down a little bit. Okay. Yeah, neat. Fun. Okay, cool. All right, and so then again, you can always like sort of like move this around a little bit too, so as it shows through the squirrel's, fur and stuff. So cool. Yeah. So sort of position this in any way you want. All right, neat. So this is JPEG. Turn in.